Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool Happy Hour. Today I have a Spanish curriculum to preview with you. I have not used it yet, but it was sent to me earlier this summer and I'm excited to share it with you and give you a peek on the inside. So if you're interested in learning more about Breaking the Barrier language program, then let's check it out. Before we get started looking at today's curriculum, if you are new here, my name is Melody. I have been homeschooling for 11 years now. We are going to be starting our high school year with my youngest homeschooler this coming season, and my oldest homeschooler is essentially finished with homeschooling and will be entering community college this fall. But this channel offers you all things secular homeschooling. We talk about curriculum, we talk about homeschool life, we talk about successes and challenges and all of those things. So if you're interested in any of that, please make sure you take a second to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and follow along as we work our way through this crazy homeschool life. But today, specifically, we are looking at I'm sitting in my lap, we've got two Spanish items, both from Breaking the Barrier Spanish program, one for middle school and one for high school. Now, I understand that foreign language can be a little bit intimidating, particularly if you yourself do not speak a second language, but after having taken a brief look at this program to prepare showing it to you and doing a little bit of research online, I'm excited to jump into this one with Bean this fall for her freshman year. And I'm excited to show it to you because this looks like a really great program that could be used for a family that even has zero experience teaching foreign language. I myself am competent, if not confident, in my Spanish skills. And so I'm pretty comfortable working through this with her, but they have everything necessary even if I knew nothing. So let's skip straight to looking inside the books, shall we? Okay, everyone, welcome to my very fancy, said nobody ever, setup for taking a look at this curriculum. I'm going to go through one piece at a time, but I wanted to give you a glance at everything we're going to be looking at today. I've got Vamos, which is the first of two parts in a middle school series. I have Breaking the Spanish Barrier Level 1, which is a one-year beginner high school level series. And then we have all the items that come with that high school level 1 beginner program. So let's start by piling all of this up. If this is your first time doing a Spanish program, Vamos Beginner A, and you have a younger student, then this is a great place to start. This is specifically built for middle school students. However, if you're wanting to do a slow start with your high school student, you could do it with your 9th grader, do the year 2, that would normally be with 8th grade with your 10th grader, and then you could move on to the higher levels of the high school Spanish and skip that beginner level 1 for high school Spanish. It's built so that you could turn this into a 4-year high school program instead of a 3-year high school program. Or you could do a 3-year high school program and do 2 years of a middle school program. It really just depends on what works best for you and your family and how you want to divide that out. The middle school program, if you want the full package, that includes this book and answer keys, a homeschool pacing guide, vocabulary quizzes, tests, and most importantly, online access, then you can get all of that for $135. I try not to give prices too specifically because, as we all know, prices change, but for right now, that's your package deal for the homeschool program for the middle school starter. Now, you can also get it piecemeal, meaning you could just get online or you could just get the book, however you want to do that. And obviously getting just the pieces is useful if that's all you want, if you have more experience, you're comfortable speaking Spanish, Or if you have more than one student and say you don't need to buy 2 of the books, but you want 1 extra quiz kit or 1 extra testing kit or something so that you don't have to worry about duplicates. Now, as I mentioned, this program does come with online access. That makes it great if you don't have experience with speaking Spanish. The online access has everything that you would need. It has everything that's in the book, plus it has interactive flashcards. All the exercises are interactive. They give you immediate feedback on what you're learning, and then the exercises that you do can be reset. So you can practice it, reset it, do it again until it's comfortable. The best part about this, in my opinion, is just hearing Spanish being spoken and not just reading it in a book. One of the first things that I like about the middle school program is the color. Now, it's not obviously too crazy with color, but just little pops of color I think make it more interesting. I don't know why programs stop doing that when it comes to high school, but you can see the table of contents here. There are 8 lessons in this program, and each lesson is broken down into about 5 different parts. It's set up that this can be used across a whole school year. Of course, anytime we're homeschooling, we always talk about moving at your own pace. Do you want to do this over the course of 2 years? Great. You want to do this in a half a year? Great. You do what works for you. But let's take a look at the beginning. So the middle school program jumps right into lesson 1. Again, we've got our color pictures. It's ¿Cómo se llama usted? Talking about what your name is, how to introduce people. It talks about how we learned language for our native language and how this program really focuses on grammar and the importance of understanding grammar. Of course, the best way to learn a new language is to be entrenched in that language, but that's not always an option for us. So I feel like this is a good plan B, if you will. We can't all afford to move to a country that speaks an alternative language and live there for a year, but wouldn't that be lovely? So I'm just going to go through lesson 1, give you a glance at what we're looking at. We've got practicing pronunciation. You've got your audio link that'll go straight to being able to actually hear the words. Again, all of this is on the online program. I will pull up the online bit here shortly and show it to you so that you can compare. But I'm just going to slowly work my way through lesson 1 so you can see what we're looking at here. We've got more practice, audio links. I know with my kiddos, it's not as important to me that they do the writing, so that we would practice these probably orally and not necessarily written. Hi guys, sorry about the change. I lost the page I was on because my dogs went crazy, but I decided this would be a good time to pull up the online version. So if I look through here, I can jump right in. It gives you a little introduction to the program. And then I'm gonna try and pull it up where you can see what we're talking about here. So if I go to the beginning of lesson 1, you can see it matches. ¿Cómo se llama usted? ¿Cómo se llama usted? If you're not familiar with how to pronounce these things, you can go through and...
¿Cómo se llama usted?
Me llamo María. ¿Cómo se llama usted?
Me llamo Juan. ¿Cómo se llama?
Let's pause it. You don't need to hear that twice. But that gives you an idea of how you can hear what's happening. Now you just go through, it's got all the extra common Spanish names. As you can see, that's what's here. And then we go down to the bottom and it gives you an opportunity to type in your answers. ¿Cómo se llama usted? Me llamo. I would just type in my name, Melody. Enter. Oh, ¿Cómo se llama usted? ¿Cómo se llama su amiga? What is your friend's name? I could go through and I could type my answers in here. And if I wanted to, I could go back, erase it all, and do it again. Let's go all the way down. Then an important part would be practicing the pronunciation. Let's see if I can match it to the page. Oh, there it is. So as you can see, it has everything that's in the book is online. So in theory, you could do this whole program and just purchase the online portion, and that is going to make your cost significantly reduced. I like having hands-on materials, so generally I will get the hands-on materials if it's available. So then our next step 2 of lesson 1 is de donde es usted. So I can go to the next step on here, and it's that same type of material. Now, I'm not sure how, there's probably a way to do it, but I'm not sure how to skip really far forward. Look at that, it's easy. If I want to skip to another lesson, let's go farther along in the book. As you get farther along, I'm here skipping to lesson 5. One of the things I really like about this is that it also gives you some cultural context, some geographical context, and the future lessons go through different parts of the world that are Spanish speaking. So let's go to lesson 5. Colombia. And see, we've got a match here. So it tells you who the president is, the capital. We can incorporate some geography along with our language learning and learn a little bit about the culture. So let's see, I'm looking through this, some of this for the first time with you guys. Let's look and see. Famous people in Colombia. Ooh, can I click? Ah, Shakira. Nope, I can't click. That's okay. Tells me a little bit more, and we can always research that more. Then we have vocabulary. Oh, interesting sites. Here we go. Sitios de interés. Now keep in mind, we have Spanish from Spain versus Spanish from like Mexico. They vary a little bit. I did notice in here that it does include both. I don't remember where I saw it, but when I was looking through, I saw it. So we've got like the you formal is usually like a vosotros form, and that's not always spoken. If you go and you visit Mexico, you don't hear a lot of the vosotros form, but it is in Spain more regularly. But we've got our different grammar things here. Vocabulary. Oh, come on, computer. Going to the next bit. Let's be patient while we wait for my internet to be the speed I want it to be. You guys don't need to know what I'm doing on Yelp. Okay. They have vocabulary cards here, and we turn the other side. Brazo.
Brazo.
Tells you how to say it, and you can check it when you get it. Finger. Dedo. Check it.
Dedo.
And I completed it. So you've got flashcards, you've got a list of your vocabulary here, all interactive and what you need. We've got exercises at the end. And I think that gives you a pretty good idea of what you're looking at here. Now, this program is a really good start to being able to actually have usable Spanish as opposed to just memorizing vocabulary words, because it focuses so much on grammar. Grammar is such an important part of being able to communicate with new languages. If you have any questions specific to the middle school program, please let me know. And of course, we've got 2 years of middle school Spanish. Or, as I said earlier, you can use these 2 years for 2 semesters of high school, or you can do them your 9th and 10th grade year of high school. Homeschooling is all about doing things that work best for you in the way that works best for you. Let's wrap all this up and check out our high school program, which should be very similar. Okay, here's my stack of high school materials. I did ask them to send me high school specifically with the whole kit because I will be using this with Bean Bean in the fall. And once I've used it, I will come back and give you guys a review of how it actually went. We all know that plans and reality don't always match up, but for now, here's a preview of the high school kit if you were to order the whole package. This also includes an online program. I'm not going to pull that up again because I just showed you the junior high one and they should be relatively similar. We have this cute little survival guide that gives you kind of just quick tips on the things you might need if you were actually to take a trip somewhere that is Spanish speaking and you needed a quick reference. So that's always kind of fun. Then we can go to our homeschool pacing guide. Honestly, I don't usually use these personally. I can find them to be a little too constrictive and confusing, but on this program, I believe I will be sticking to the pacing guide. It gives you a quick rundown for homeschoolers and some tips on best practice as far as grading and how to work your way through if you don't speak Spanish. But I'm gonna jump straight to the breakdown. It has exactly what parts you're reading, and like it says, listen to model sentences twice, then read aloud. Complete written exercises. It's pretty simple and basic. I do like that sometimes you get these programs and it's just too, how do I say, it's too detailed, it's too tight on what they want you to do, there's too much information, and it requires a lot of prep work in advance. Not a big fan of prep work in advance, and this program doesn't need that, so I love that. Moving this out of the way. Next, we have an answer key booklet. It just comes in this nice little sleeve. Of course, you could punch holes in it and put it in your own 3-ring binder if that's how you like to work, or you can just throw this in your 3-ring binder to keep. It's got written quizzes. Now, as you saw on the online program for junior high, you can do your quiz online. You don't have to do this. You could also do your quiz orally, or like me, you could be not really into tests and quizzes and you could choose not to use this portion at all. But I do like that it's an option, it's available, and it's ready to go if you were wanting it. Same thing with the test program. Now, it does say, if you read about their program, they say that, this one is transcript ready, meaning if you complete this program, it qualifies as for your transcript that you would put for college. The truth of the matter is that anything you're doing at homeschooling, it qualifies for your transcript if you're putting in enough time and effort and making progress. So the transcript ready thing is kind of a universal statement for anything you're doing in your homeschool. We've got level 1 beginner. Make sure I'm lined up there so you guys can see it. First thing we're talking about here is how having a solid understanding of grammar is really important. They're going to tell you that it's broken down into 12 lessons, including maps, vocabulary, key grammatical concepts, explanation of new material. There's a lot of review and dialogue in this one. And then it has the online program available with all the audio if you are not a Spanish speaker or if you don't understand Spanish yourself, then I really encourage you to make sure you have that audio because pronunciation matters. Jump into our table of contents. You can see at a quick glance what we're going to be covering. Now this one is a little bit different in that it doesn't start with lesson 1. It starts with this section called First Steps, and that is if you have never done Spanish before and you're just wanting to learn the basics, these first steps really match what you're finding in those junior high level books. And so, not the whole book, but the beginning of the book, the basics, it will match up to give you a review on those things. And then you're going to jump into these next sections. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of what is covered. Obviously, this is considered a high school level program, not a junior high level program, so you're moving at a faster pace. I do wish that they had this in color. If you look through here real quick, there's no color. It's all black and white. Now, on one hand, I know why they do things like that. It does make it more cost effective, and we don't want to be spending $1 million on curriculum. But high school kids like color too. So honestly, I might be willing to pay a little bit more to have it in color. At the same time, because you have that online content that is all in color, it's not that big a deal. But speaking of cost, I forgot to tell you that the high school program, the whole package, everything that I just showed you, along with the online content starts, it's $160 at this time. Of course, prices change over time, so don't quote me on that. If you watch this video 2 or 3 years from now and you're like, that's not the right price. Well, today that is the right price. Let's look at the first steps. If you remember, we have ¿Cómo se llama? What is your name? That was exactly where the junior high level started. We have practice questions, practice pronunciation. This first little unit, if you will, it's not lesson 1, but it's like a prequel. It has 10 sections in it to go through. So it might take you a little bit of time to get through that. I definitely would encourage you to take the time to go through the introductory section. Let's jump into lesson 1. I marked these for myself, hoping that I would remember what I was doing. As you can see, it's talking about Mexico. It gives you the basic information of that area. Some geography is useful, and learning about the culture of the area. If you go to the online portion, you're going to get more of that, more colorful bits and pieces and more interesting information on those. And of course, you can always look for that information elsewhere too. You don't have to limit yourself to what's in a book when you're learning something new or from a curriculum. Use this as a jumping off point and work from there. I'm just gonna try and go through here real slow so you can kind of see what we're looking at. We've got practice exercises, high frequency verbs, subject pronouns, so this is funny. It talks about Ricky Martin. Oh man, I bet my kids don't know who that is. But this would be an opportunity to learn about cultures and somebody famous from a Spanish-speaking country, Mexico specifically. Oral practice, preguntas en grupos de dos, questions in groups of 2. This online, it says online access offers audio recordings of these questions. These are things that I will do side by side with my kiddo, but you can do it even if you don't know any Spanish. Let's see, how far do I need to go? Here's review questions at the end. And then we go to lesson 2. And it jumps to a different Spanish-speaking country and repeats that whole process. Let's jump into the back. If you see, we go through, jumping to lesson 11, Paraguay and Uruguay. It's constantly having a geography bit, a cultural bit, vocabulary and grammar, and it's all wrapped up into one book. This is a section that I would find very useful, a conjugation chart. Verb conjugation is a big deal. If you're familiar with it, great. If you're not, then just trust me, it's a big deal understanding how to conjugate a verb, and present, past, and imperfect, and understanding how we say, like hablar is to talk or to speak, but you could say I speak, you speak, he or she speaks, we speak. And you can also say, you know, I spoke, they will be speaking. There's all these different tenses that are important to understand when you are speaking a new language in order to make yourself understood. Personally, I have trouble speaking Spanish outside of present tense, so that's definitely something I need to work on. And they have your regular verbs, meaning they're consistently the same when you conjugate them. And then you have your irregular verbs, which kind of give me a headache because I don't always remember, but the more you use it, the more you'll remember, and having this chart in the back is super helpful. We've got a Spanish-English dictionary with some of our basics. An English-Spanish dictionary going the other direction. Both are helpful. And then of course you've got your index in the back. I hope that inside peek was useful for you. I hope that it answered any questions that you have. Again, please check out the link below if you have interest in getting yourself a copy of this curriculum for the coming year. If you have any more specific questions about it, please feel free to send them to me. I'll do what I can to find the answers you're looking for. And of course, remember that they do also have a French program that is started too. So if you're interested in French instead of Spanish, this could serve you for that as well. Otherwise, I have some videos coming up on dealing with the homeschool doubters. I'm going to be sharing what our full curriculum agenda or plan is for the coming school year soon. And if you have any other special questions or videos that you are interested in me putting out there, make sure you drop a comment in the box below and let me know what those are, and I will do my best to get them out to you. I'm doing about one video a month at this time, trying to balance sharing videos with you guys and just life. So anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope it answered your questions. I will catch you next time.